Hello everyone and welcome to Magistically Explanation. Today we are going to understand the concept of component of self. So, what do you understand by component of self and how many factors contribute to the formation of self concept? The factors that contribute to the formation of self concept are personality versus social identity, working self concept, self confidence, fourth self image. Now we are going to understand the concept of personal versus social identity. Personal versus social identity. One of the most fundamental principles of the social identity perspective is that individual can perceive themselves differently depending on where they are at particular moment in time, which is known as the personal social identity continuum. The personal identity and end of the continuum refer to when we think ourselves primarily as individual. The social identity and refer to when we think ourselves as member of specific groups. Because we do not experience all aspects of our self-concept simultaneously, the aspect of our identity which is silent at any given moment will influence how we think about ourselves, and this is in turn has consequences for our behavior. When we may think ourselves as a unique individual or personal identities are silent, and this is likely to result in self-description that emphasizes how we are different from other individuals. You might describe yourself as a confident person when think of yourself at the personal identity level to emphasize your self-prescription as having more of this attribute that other individuals are using as a comparative in referent, because personal identity self-description can be true as in intra-group in nature, involving comparison with other individuals who share our group membership, which group is the implied referent. At the other end of the personal social continuum, we can prescribe ourselves as member of a group, which we emphasizes the ways that are very similar to other group member. When we think ourselves at social identity level, we describe ourselves in terms of attributes that member of the group share each other and what differentiates our group from other group. This description of the self at the social identity level at intergroup change the world. Second, working self-concept. The aspect of the self which is influence our thoughts and ongoing behavior depend in large part on what aspect of the self-concept is relevant to a particular situation. This aspect of the self-concept that is exists for a particular situation is called the working self-concept. For example, in a classroom situation, the academic self is likely to be the dominant determinant of our thought and feeling, where when we are reminded about a party on Friday, the social self may be exceed. This working self concept is important because it draws on not our overall self concept only but guides social behavior in a specific situation and is in turn modified by what does on in the situation. Third one, self-confidence. Self-confidence is the confidence one has in oneself, one's knowledge and one ability. It is the confidence to type, I can do this, I have the ability to do this. Self-confidence is the one thing that is much more important than many other abilities, traits. If you do not have self-confidence, what you do will never become fruitful at a time. At all. The fruit of what do you without self-confidence are lost. Actually, confidence is to be willing to try that which scares you the most and the belief that you can manage anything that arises. Would you like to have more self-confidence? Actually, I have not met a person who replied to that question with a negative. Well, there is only one way by doing it. One of the way you gain confidence is by trying things you are not sure you can do. Each time you achieve something new, you boost your confidence levels a little. Many times you are afraid of trying new things because could fail and wouldn't look good. However, trying is what is most important. If you don't try, you have failed already. So you have nothing to lose by trying. Not trying means you do not even give yourself the chance of succeeding. You stay in the safety zone of not looking silly or failing. It probably is safer, but it also get you nowhere which you are not sure you will succeed at. Don't forget to plan for your worst case scenario because you do anything, but remember that very rarely will the worst case scenario ever become a reality. Building confidence is all about what you should not be doing. For example, something happened and you end up looking silly and unprofessional. Most of you will spend some time worrying about it and thinking what you should have done instead. It is true, you should learn from your mistake, but there's no need to punish yourself from them. Remember, keep things in perspective and file it now. Having tolerance and comparison for yourself is just as important as it for others. 4. Self-image. Self-image is how you see yourself or how you prescribe yourself. People infer their personal qualities from observing their own behavior. That is, in the process of observing ourselves, we see ourselves constantly preferring certain activities over other, certain food over other, or certain people over other. From observing these regularities, we form an image about ourselves. You have some great skills, but unless you see yourself as having those skills, and can you make others see them as well, they will stay locked in box, never to be acknowledged. Being who you are is one thing, and being seen for who you are can be quite others. From all of this, I hope you have understand the component of self. Today we have discussed the topic of component of self, personality versus social identity, working self-concept, self-confidence, and last, self-image. In this video, we have understood the concept of component of self. In our next video, we will be understanding the concept of personality, and it is very important. Thanks for watching, guys.